Yeah.
We did? What did we say about that?
Because the decimal was
And to start our little journey into the wonderful world of decimals, you do decimals all the time, and that's what the book kind of starts you off with in that. The best way to start thinking about decimals is when we talk about money. Money, because our money system really is based on decimals. Usually when you go to a store, you know, you're buying yourself your whatever favorite book. Anybody have a favorite book? Here's your book. Got some pages here, blah, blah, blah. And it has a price tag on it. Okay, you will not see in that store where whoever's selling the book says the price of this book is $10 and $1/4. Ever gone into a store and seen a fraction with the money? Never. We always use decimals with money because decimals are by far easier to work with than money. What, by the way, instead of $10 and $1/4, what would be the price of this? Ellen?
$10.25.
Right, $10.25. Okay, which is easier there. So let's write that down, 10.25, and think about this in terms of money. When we have decimals, okay, by the way, this part here is the whole number, okay, because it is a whole number. And we have place values there. The 1 is in the tens place, correct?
Yes.
We've done this many times before. The 0 is in the units place, or the ones place, you can call it either one. Then we have our decimal point. The first place after the decimal is, does anybody know what place that is? I'm guessing Mrs. Nyers will send something. The first place after the decimal is the tenths place. T-E-N-T-H. Please understand, don't mistake that for the tens place. There's a T-H after there, which means it is the tenths place. By the way, what coin does this little 2 stand for? What coin in money is 1/10 of a dollar? Mare?
A dime.
Right. 1/10 of a dollar. You know, if I have 1/10 of a dollar, which is 0.1, we always put that 0 after there, that is our dime. Okay? A dime. Whatever this is, however many dimes you have. Alright? This place right here is the, anybody know? We have the tenths place, and then the next place over, Grayson, is the?
Once.
Nope. There is no once place. And get that kind of in your mind. There is no such thing as a once place.
100.
And, yeah, you have to think about, it's kind of a mirror image. You go tenths, and then you go hundredths. Hundredths. And again, you have to put the TH in there. Don't just put it the hundreds place, because that's a lot more. And what coin, by the way, if I go 0.01, this is what coin that we have. What coin do we have that is 1/100th of a dollar, or it takes 100 of them to make a dollar, and it is a?
Penny.
Yeah, it is a penny. Okay. And a penny nowadays isn't really worth a whole lot. It's almost not worth bending over. And in the real world, we should really do it. We probably say, I believe it takes a lot more to actually have our government make a penny by the time you put people's labor and the materials that it costs and all the stuff there, then they're actually worth it. I believe we actually lose money making pennies because it costs more to make it than it's worth. I mean, what, James, can you buy for a single penny in this world? Yeah. So if we got rid of pennies and we could just make them nickels, everybody'd be happy, or even dimes, because they're small. Okay. And that's the thing, by the way, the thing you'll learn with decimals is you have to kind of think about it. It's different, it's opposite kind of than whole numbers. The farther away from you go from the decimal on this side over here, the more the thing is worth. Okay, this is worth 800s. You know, $800 bills. That's a lot of money. Okay, but if you keep going farther out this way, which our money doesn't, things keep getting worth smaller. Here is my visualization of that. Check this out. Here's what you have to think about. All right. Here is, let's say this is just one. Okay, this is I have one piece of paper. If I want 1/10 of this, if I want 0.1 of this piece of paper, I would have to cut it into 10 equal pieces. I'll see if I can do that. That means I would have to cut this into about 4. This is about 1/10 of what I started with right here. Hold on a second. This is going to get you this. People always are mesmerized by this whole thing. Here is my 0.1 of my piece of paper. It's 1/10 of my piece of paper. Okay. If I go the next one over and I get 100th of that, that means, here's my originally starting thing, if I could put it back together. Remember what my big piece of paper is? I would have to take my 1/10 and cut it into 10 equal pieces, which would end up being something like this. Okay? There is my this is my 1/100th. There's about 100 of these, as best I can. There's about 100 of these in this, so this is about 1/100th. Well, we don't have to talk about it today, but for tomorrow, or whenever, we get to the next place over, which guess what it is? If this is tens and this is hundreds, the next place over here would be the thousands. Now, I'm going to go 0.09, which is called 9 thousandths. 9 thousandths, okay, even though it's a 9, the number 9, would mean, first of all, 1,000th, let's do 1,000 first. 1,000th means I take 100th and cut it into 10 equal pieces, which would mean I would have to take this and rip it right, oh, I lost my 1,000th. Here is about 1,000th of what piece of,
Wow. That's big.
this is about 1,000th of what I started with, if you can actually see that, okay,
I
of my
can see the
original.
little white dot.
So even if I had 9 of these, okay, this is 1, this is the other 9. This is 9 thousandths. So 9 thousandths is a little bit smaller than 1/100th because it would take 10 of these to get to that. And guess what? I can keep going with my decimals, and then I'd have to cut this into 10 equal pieces. Well, if I got to the 10 thousandths place, I would have to cut this into 10 equal pieces, and that's how much it would be. It's smaller and smaller. So as the point is this, the farther away from the decimal you get, the smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's why we don't have money going any farther, because my next place would mean it would be 1,000th of a cent, or 1,000th of a dollar, which would mean it would take 10 pennies, or 10 of these to make 1 penny, and since we don't use a penny, why would we make anything smaller than that? So the thing the book is going to ask you is, they will say, what combination of dollars, dimes, and pennies? Oh, our little decimals and money thing, okay, we're only going to talk about dimes, we're going to talk about pennies, we'll talk about $1 bills, we'll talk about $10 bills, and you'll talk about $100 bills. Those are really the only 5 you're going to talk about. We don't talk about nickels, we're not going to talk about quarters, we're not going to talk about those things because they don't, I mean, they fall in the middle of all this. We're just using decimal numbers. You want to think dimes, pennies, $1 bills, tens, and hundreds. The book will ask you to write down this question. What combination of dollars, dimes, and pennies makes $3.84? What combo makes $3.84? Well, you'd have to have 3 $1 bills, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd make 8 dimes and 4 pennies. Now, in the real world, if we weren't talking math, this is probably not how the person would give you change in the store. Okay, because we have other coins that we would use. They would probably give you what? 3 quarters, which is 75 cents, right? A nickel, which would make it 80, and 4 pennies. But we're only using dimes, pennies, and dollars because that works best with our decimal system that we're talking about there. Does That's that exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, that's